What is up, my good friends? I know I said my next reading vlog was going to be over Widow of the South, but since then, I signed up for Book of the Month. I bought the thriller, What Comes After, and so this is going to be my first ever Book of the Month, and I'm going to make a reading vlog out of it, and I can cancel my subscription at any time, so we'll see if that's something I do. So first off, to put it out there, no, I do not read with the dust jacket on. And one of the reasons is crispy, sharp edges of a new hardback. So let me get started. Book of the month. Okay, so I just read the first 10 pages of What Comes After. And it does have very short little chapters, which I always appreciate. And it is alternating first person and third person point of view, which is a little annoying. But it's basically about these two teenagers, kind of like a murder-suicide, takes place out in the woods, and their bodies are found. It's like a missing person, but turns out that person was murdered, and then that other guy commits suicide. I'm not explaining it well, but there's a mysterious pregnant teenager who shows up, and her name is Evangeline, which is an awesome name, and she has red hair, so how can you not like somebody with red hair? Come on. So this so far is looking good, 10 pages in. So far I'm going to keep my Book of the Month subscription. We'll see how the rest goes. One step closer to a master's degree. So I'm on page 53 in What Comes After. So I am 12% of the way through the book, and I was really tired when I was doing my original vlog. It was like 1 in the morning. So basically what's going on is there are two boys in a small town who have died, and it was a murder-suicide. So we follow the father of the boy who was murdered in the murder-suicide, and his part's written in first person. And then we follow a 16-year-old pregnant girl who has some association with the boys, we don't really know what, and hers is in third person. But it's the same tense, it's all past tense, and that's what's going on so far. So that's the main premise of the book. Do I like the third person and first person shift? No, I hate it. I wish it would, well, I don't hate it. It's not like unreadable, but I just wish it was consistent. I think it would work good in third person both ways, but it's first person from the dad, third person from the girl. So that's what we got going on so far. Okay, so I've got my forest sounds on. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. So I'm on page 81, and the pregnant teenager was just taken to the doctor, and there was she's 6 weeks pregnant, and there was a small little discussion of like, do you know what you're gonna do, adoption, abortion, or whatever. And I should say this also takes place on the West Coast, like outside Seattle. And it was just really refreshing that there was no lecture in there about abortion and teen pregnancy and all that. And what I'm finding in this book is that it's really not judging any of its characters. It's not judging the pregnant teen. It's not judging the murder-suicide. It's just telling a really intriguing story. And that's really something I appreciate. This is a debut novel, and so far it's like a 4.5-star read, maybe not 5. I'll have to see how it pans out, but I can't find any like unforgivable flaw in it right now, which is pretty rare. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm a little more than 100 pages in, and what I'm noticing about this book that I don't often see in other books is that it's exploring grief in a father. The father has lost his child. So it's really interesting to me to see this from a man's point of view. As you can see, this was written by a woman, and being a woman myself, I don't know what grieving is like for a man, but I think she's doing a really great job. It's the man is a teacher like me, and I think she could have explored a little more what it was like seeing all those teenagers for the first time after losing your own kid. But that is something I really appreciate, the way this kind of stoic guy is going through the motions. Everything's reminded him of his you know, perfect son, which kind of wish his son wasn't so perfect. He was like the hot popular kid. But so far for a debut novel, this is really great. This is contemporary fiction with kind of a thriller element, so I'm really, really liking it. Good job. Subscriptions are looking good for book of the month at the moment. Hey everybody, Return of the Minnie Mouse Pajamas here for you. I've gotten to page 135, and we don't know who the father of Evangeline, who's the teenage girl, we don't know who the father of her baby is. Now, originally there were two options. There was Daniel, who was the one murdered, and we were kind of being like dangled a carrot on the stick, thinking, no, it's Jonah, the one who committed suicide and the murder-suicide. But now we have a third possibility for the baby daddy, and he is an adult, and he is an educator, and I'm sick to my stomach. Guys, you would not believe me when I say how common this is. Not just educators getting with their students, it does happen, and it's disgusting. It, like, literally, if I think about it too long, I get sick. But just statutory rape in general, pedophilia. So it's getting rough, but it's so good. I just wish it wasn't. I wish the point of view was consistent, but this book so far, great. So if any of my European viewers or my Latin American viewers are interested, this is the fastest growing sport in the United States. Pickleball. Soothing lighting to accompany my 10-page paper. Let's do it. I have completed all my work, so by the time this video goes up, I will have a master's degree. It's not as surreal as I would have thought it would have felt when I was a child, because I just did so much work for it. But it's kind of crazy to think I'm never gonna have to do schoolwork again. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself if I'm not like constantly switching between schoolwork, vlogging, writing. I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. One thing I just noticed was that this book does something really good, which is the way the students gossip about the teachers. There's this one line, they're talking about like the boys, the murder-suicide, and they're like, he was sleeping with her, she was sleeping with him. And then one student tries to change the subject. He said, okay, new topic. I heard Mr. Kirkpatrick is sleeping with Miss Tobin. It happens. Now the book is talking about tamales, and as I said earlier, it takes place on the West Coast, in the Northwest in Washington. So I'm kind of curious to see how tamales look up there, because I know they are different where I live in Texas. But the character whose mom is making tamales, her name's Natalia, so that's a pretty authentic Latin name. But West Coast tamales. So one funny thing about the book I noticed is that it's calling salad, like, you know, salad you eat, greens. And when I was studying writing in Iowa, I was at this restaurant and I ordered like a sandwich, and the waitress was like, it comes with a side of greens, is that okay? And I'll insert a picture of what I thought greens was. Yeah, so like I look at the waitress, I'm like, no, 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 I hate them, no. And she gives me this look, she's like, okay, and then walks away. And so I'm sitting at the bar and I like see the guy behind the bar mixing a salad, and then I like put two and two together, and so the guy made me a salad. And in Iowa they call soda pop. I call it soda. Everyone here just calls it Coke, but I call it soda. But I don't know why I started that. I also call crayons crowns. I don't know, but that made me laugh. It was funny. This is a good book. I wouldn't really call it literary fiction. It is more like a commercial thriller, but so far my book of the month is doing good. Keeping the subscription so far. So without giving too much away, I just read a teen on teen rape scene, which was really hard to read, but I'm kind of glad it was in there because that happens all the time. Child on child abuse is a big problem, but just trigger warning for rape. It was really hard to read, but I think people need to know about it. I'm on page 245. It's really good, but that part was really troubling, but it's real life. Tornado warning. Hiding in the storage closet. So I'm just gonna give you a quick little thoughts to get my mind off the tornado because it's hitting me right now. So I've gotten about 2/3 of the way through the book, and I really appreciate the way it portrays the dark side of being a small town teenager. Because when you only know so many people, word spreads really fast. And when there's only one high school in town, like everybody knows everybody. But it's really like cliche to say things aren't what they seem, but they really aren't. So originally we were thinking that the boy who had been murdered was like golden boy and all this, but later we find out that really he's actually a terrible person. And I think some of the themes in what comes after, which is super lame title, is kind of making us question the difference between hero and villain, and if anybody is a true hero, and if sorry, the storms. So I think it's really good. It's kind of hard to base, like, you know, am I going to keep my subscription just from one book? But if the first book had been terrible, I probably would be like, okay, I'm not doing this again. But so far, 2/3 of the way through the book, I'm on page like 291 out of 416. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep my subscription. So, just gonna sit in here and wait till the storm passes. I didn't bring my book with me because it's kind of dark and the light doesn't work. But I've got 10 minutes until the tornado passes through my neighborhood. So I'm just gonna wait it out. That is the sound of a tornado. You hear it? Kind of sounds like a train. Means you need to take cover, which I'm doing. Whew, so I survived the tornado, and probably the most dangerous part was getting myself out of the shelter. Now I am very nearly done with this. You can kind of see. We did get a childbirth scene. Childbirth disgusts me, pregnancy disgusts me, but it was very tastefully done and horrific without being gross, if that makes sense. So it's about 12 a.m. I'm just gonna leave this off till tomorrow, and I'll finish up tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. So this is a great book. I have completed the book. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 stars. 4 stars because I wasn't a huge fan of the ending, and just spoiler alert, it was a happy ending, which is not my favorite. And I just want to talk about the cover for a second. It has that's my brother. It has a very kind of like Hitchcock North by Northwest feel, like Trouble in the Mountains type thing, which I think is awesome. So 4 out of 5 stars. Yes, I'm keeping my subscription to Book of the Month, and overall, really happy I did this. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, keep reading, keep writing, keep loving words, and I will see you next time.